Hello, 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 everybody. I'm going to wait a few minutes. I want to see if I can actually change that thumbnail. For some reason my computer is acting weird. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to roll in. I'm hoping that I'll catch some of you. This was a very much unplanned live, but planned at the same time because I did announce it. But again, I don't even know what is today, Wednesday. My days are so messed up. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to roll on in while I try to change this thumbnail. Thumbnails matter. Yes. It makes such a difference. You have no idea. My dog is knocking on the door. She's so cute. All right. So make sure you're saying hi in the chat. I want to make sure I can see you and know that you're here and respond to you. But today's live, it's not going to be anything like Mondays. I don't know if you caught Monday's live, but Monday was more so me walking through like what purpose is and all that stuff. I'm not going to go through all of that today. You can go back in your free time and watch that live. I'm just going to post that we're live on the channel as well, just so people know. But today is literally just about giving a bit more detail on Purposeful and what it is. I did, I posted a poll, I think, yesterday. And in the poll, I was just kind of asking, if you've found yourself being interested in the Purposeful course and you clicked the link, but you didn't fully sign up, you maybe just read the webpage a little bit. I wanted to get some feedback because that's something I'm really trying to do more of lately, is really get your feedback, because I'm here, sharing this information to help you. I mean, this is information and these are practices and things that have helped me, but I also want to be able to share that with you guys. And a major thing for me is making sure that I'm communicating well to you guys. And so when I post those polls in the community tab, it's because I genuinely want to know if you're understanding what I'm saying, if I'm communicating well, if the points are getting across, if you're understanding what's being offered, different things like that. So that is, the reason why I've been doing a lot of polls lately. So again, yesterday, I believe I put out a poll asking just your feedback on why you may not have fully signed up if you made it to the landing page and you read the information and different things like that. And there was a mix of answers. So one of the options was that maybe you needed more details, and that was an option that was chosen. And then another one was more so around timing. So I'll address timing a little bit later, but I wanted to address, just some of the details of the course and just making sure that I do make that clear for you guys what you will be getting should you enroll yourself into the Purposeful experience. I felt like I might have been clear on the webpage, but again, that's why I asked you guys in the community poll, because just because I think something's clear doesn't mean that it's going to come off clear to you guys. You might still be wondering, okay, well, what exactly am I getting in this? So the whole point of Purposeful is for you to get very, very clear on what your mission is here on Earth. Why is it that you decided to be born at this time in this in this world, in this climate? Why is it that you chose to be born? What is it that you are here to do? So it's called Purposeful for that reason, because the main thing you're walking away with is discovering what that mission is, discovering what that purpose is. We will be using astrology to do so, and you'll be walked step by step on how to do so. But this is not an in-depth astrology course. I'm not going into like all the basics of astrology and terminology and all of that. If you're interested in that, that is what Book of You is for, but this is specifically just for your purpose. So we will be using astrology, but again, you'll be walked step by step on how you can actually find the prenatal eclipse information. So if you've been watching this channel for the last few weeks, you know that I have been teaching pretty heavily weekly on prenatal eclipses. Today's episode was canceled. It will be out next week. I promise you guys. But I've been teaching heavily on the prenatal eclipses, and the prenatal eclipse is what determines your purpose, your solar and lunar eclipse. Now, in those free videos I've offered on the channel, I've given a small glimpse into how you can find your eclipses and what they may mean for you. And that was done on purpose to kind of give you a taste and really to kind of see the interest there as well. So in the Purposeful course, we're going to take basically what I've been teaching on the YouTube channel, but in a much deeper fashion. So you're going to learn exactly, like you're going to have charts and everything that will show you exactly what your solar and lunar eclipses are. You're going to have, there's videos that walk you through exactly how to find the house location. And then obviously I'm there as well for support, so that if you have any questions, I'm able to answer them for you and really help you out there. But then once you find like the sign of your eclipses and the house and all of that, there are downloadable PDFs that will apply specifically to that. So if your solar eclipse is in the sign of Sagittarius, you will have a specific PDF that is directly for your solar eclipse being in Sagittarius. And so you would be able to download that and print it out. And I personally would recommend you putting it in a folder or a binder of some sort so that you can keep everything together. You don't have to print it out. It can always stay as a file on your computer or in your phone, however you want to do it. It's read like an ebook. But the cool thing about it is that it's written in a contract form, and it's written from your point of view. So when you read it, it will say I ... this, I ... that. You know, it's as if you were writing this prior to you being born. So it's written in the personal form. And then there's also spaces, like blanked out spaces where you can write your name throughout it. And then by the end of the actual covenant, once you've put all the pieces together, there's a last page that you actually sign, creating this whole significance around your mission, you know, really creating a sense of importance around it. And so again, once you're done putting all of the pieces together, so once you've done your tropical and sidereal solar eclipse sign, the house of your solar eclipse, same thing for your lunar eclipse. So the solar, the sidereal and tropical sign for your lunar eclipse, and then the house of that, and then the aspect between the two eclipses. By the time you have pretty much like put all of that information together, you'll have at least 30 pages, like minimum, for your purpose laid out for you on paper, written in the first person with spaces, again, blanked out spaces for you to be able to fill your name out, because it's meant to be personal. It's not meant to be just some book you pulled off a shelf that's just like, oh, well, let me tell you about yourself. Like, this is written from the no. This is a contract I made with God before I was born. And so it's written from your first person perspective. And as I've been doing in all of those videos, you get, when you actually go through what your eclipses are, you know, your solar eclipse is really like what your purpose is, while your lunar eclipse is the major lesson you'll need to learn. But within your solar eclipse, there's lessons that need to be learned. And then there's also your levels of maturity, or the journey of you moving from not fulfilling your purpose to fulfilling your purpose, moving from just being very immature to being very mature, from becoming wise, really. So that all of those details are included within your contract as well, both on the lunar and solar side. So you get a lot, and that's just one piece. That is just the first part of the experience. Well, technically the first part is the welcome section, but the welcome section just kind of goes through all the little fundamentals, which I've been giving the sneak peeks to on the channel to give you guys kind of like an inside look at what you'll be learning. So you have your welcome section first, and then you have your discovering your purpose, which is part 2, which I just explained. And then part 3 is the actual embodiment section. So this is where we go beyond just the intellectual understanding of things, Because personally, in my personal experience, I find that, I'm a bookworm. I love to read, I love to learn about myself, but when I would do different studies on myself, whether it was through astrology or not, I would find that if I didn't take the time to actually let something sink in, to actually self reflect and see if I was finding these things popping up in my life, if I didn't actually do the work of fully embodying everything that I learned, it didn't stick, and so there was no change made. And so the point is not to just leave you guys with this kind of like, oh, well, I have a contract, between me and God, and that's cool, and now I've had some aha moments, and that's cool. Because if that was the case, I would just be promoting Book of You. Because I've mentioned this before, Book of You get to learn the same thing. It's just two different price points for a reason. So Book of You currently is $9.97 a month, and it's something you can cancel anytime. And it's really for people who just want to dive into astrology and get to learn at their own pace and learn their chart. Purposeful is a whole different level of experience. Purposeful is, yes, you get to learn a piece of you, right? Through your solar and lunar prenatal eclipses. But there's another level of experience that you gain. And that extra level of experience is the live work that we do together over the 6-week period, where we're actually working to bring this information into our lives. So this is not just through reflecting and doing self-reflection. This is just through understanding the process of what it means to actually fulfill your purpose, understanding the ups and downs that you may go through on that journey, because you will, it's not going to be just I read my contract, I know what my purpose is, and boom, life just changes. Like it doesn't just happen like that. I mean, I wish it did, but that's just not how it works. Typically, it's like you get all excited, you have this rush of emotion, this rush of excitement, all of these aha moments happen, and you really, like, for me, every time I go and I read my personal, purpose covenant that I made with God, everything just feels right. And I begin to really realize how every single thing I'm doing, even unconsciously, I am fulfilling my purpose. Whether I'm doing YouTube or I'm with my family or I'm launching courses, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's always fulfilling my purpose. And to have that information remind you of that is an amazing feeling. But it's another thing to have it consciously on your heart, and to have it be something that every time you sit down to do something, or every time you're interacting in your life, you're kind of doing it from this more conscious space of, I'm fulfilling my mission here. This is my mission here. For me personally, when it comes to like the courses and things like that, just knowing that what I'm doing here is part of my mission, it allows me to kind of take me out of it. Because that's something that I personally struggled with. And I think a lot of people, when they start businesses, struggle with is being very attached to the business and validating ourselves through the business, and through anything that we do, whether it's social media, whatever, we tend to attach ourselves to our roles and our titles and different things like that. And when you begin to understand that, well, there's a purpose, and really, if you want me to be real with you, your purpose is God's way of allowing his love to come into the world. That is really what your purpose allows God to do. You're a channel for his love to flow through. And that's why I say there's many unique purposes. Like your purpose is going to be unique to you because it's going to be God's unique way of channeling his love in, because that's what God is, right? God is love. And your purpose is allowing God's love to come through and to reach all of those that you come into contact with. So the more that you begin to understand what your purpose means and what your mission is, you begin to take you out of the equation. You start to recognize that, okay, well, me fulfilling my purpose, I'm going to be taken care of. So there's no need for me to need something. Like, I don't need to start a business to make money or to be validated through money or through likes or through people or through sales. Like, I don't need to start a family so that I feel validated because I'm important because now I'm a mom, or I don't need to, like, I don't know, all these different reasons that we start things. Honestly, most of it is because of validation, because we want approval, because we want to feel like we're needed. And when you begin to step into that space of, well, this is my mission, this is what I came here to do, and my mission is literally to just be pretty much like an open channel for God to flow into the world, it allows you to kind of just take you out of it, and you become a lot less selfish. You begin to want to actually serve others, and it doesn't mean that your needs aren't taken care of. This is not a become a doormat and completely just serve from an empty cup and any of that. When you are fully stepping into your purpose, again, it's like you're becoming this channel for God to be able to flow through. And so you're not even pulling from your own energy. This is completely, it's like you're just stepping out of the way. It's like me coming here on live, and I could make it all about me and want to talk all about me and want to see the numbers here go up and see how many people are liking and how many people are watching and how many people are commenting. And I could make it about myself. But I could also completely step out of the way and say, okay, well, whatever it is that God needed to have said here will be said. So it's two completely, totally different energies. And so that's really what you get to walk away learning through this experience. That's what the 6 weeks is for, if you want me to be honest, because there's many parts of this journey that I just don't think are addressed. I honestly don't even feel like purpose is addressed enough. I hear people talk about purpose all the time. I hear people say our purpose is to be happy, our purpose is to evolve, our purpose is to be a spirit in a human experience, our purpose is this, that, and the third. And I don't think enough people realize that we really each have a unique purpose in life. And that a lot of us, and I'm speaking again from personal experience, but for the longest time, I was walking around constantly questioning if what I was doing was right. Like, is this what I'm meant to be doing? And so that's why I created this, because I knew that if I was walking around questioning, even while I'm doing these courses and launching courses and doing YouTube, that doesn't mean that there's not days and moments that I'm sitting here like, am I even doing the right thing? And I have to be able to remind myself. And so that's where Purposeful really came from. It was like, honestly, I wasn't even planning on launching any other courses this month, because I was like, I just launched Book of Life. Like, I'm all about completing things. Like, I'm proud of myself for completing different things and stuff. But it was something that I just really felt was like, no, it needed to be done. It needed to be shared. So anyways, I kind of got a little off track there. But as far as the details of the course, that is essentially what you get. You're going to walk away guaranteed with 30 plus pages on your purpose, laying it out in detail, written from the first person perspective, laid out like a contract between you and God. You're going to walk away experiencing six weeks, so 7 sessions total, live with me and any other students in the course. We're all going to be live together in our private group. There's a private group we have. It's not a Facebook group. It's a Discord group. I don't know if you've ever heard of Discord. It's something that gamers use to video chat and stuff like that. But on Discord, you get your own private server, and the only people who can actually join are people who have the unique link. So we have a private Discord server where we're able to video chat, voice chat, post things like you would on social media. You can post all kinds of posts and things like that. So directly, for 6 weeks, we'll be able to work with each other. So it's not just going to be the lives that happen once a week. It's also just going to be, as we go throughout our days, if there's any questions, if there's any just comments, if there's anything that comes up, we're able to communicate with each other and really kind of develop this relationship. I want to say this familyhood, because this is not just for women and this is not just for men. It's for all human beings. And so that's something else that you get as well. You get that live experience with me for 6 weeks, 7 total sessions. There is no time limit on the sessions. I just feel that when God's done, God is done. So it'll just kind of be like we get together at 6 o'clock on Mondays, and whatever is meant to come through comes through. If there's questions that need to be asked, those get answered. It's really just a more intimate kind of thing. I really like to think of it like as if you guys were sitting in my house with me, like sitting in my room, and we're all just talking about this stuff, and we've got our purpose contracts out, and we're looking at our covenants, and we're having questions, and we're asking opinions, and having aha moments. Like that's really how I've envisioned this experience. So again, that's what you get. And then on top of that, I've added 2 bonuses, and that's something that I have not mentioned quite yet, but I'm mentioning now. I think I did mention it in Monday's live, but I'm mentioning it now as well. So bonus number 1 is actually you're going to get full access to the Book of You course, so lifetime access to it, just for signing up for the Purposeful experience. And so the reason for this is not just so I can like try to really get people to buy it. Like, no. The point of this is once you discovered what your purpose is, to be able to go into your genetic blueprint. So going into your astrological birth chart and being able to look at your birth chart. Your birth chart to me represents kind of like this, like I said, a genetic blueprint, but it really represents all of the subconscious patterns that lie within you. So literally like every pattern, every habit, every way of thinking, every piece of perspective that you could potentially have, meaning both on an ego level and then all the way up to the more wise centered level, right? Every pattern that's woven into your DNA is going to be found within that birth chart. And your birth chart or your patterns is something that is going to help you to fulfill your purpose. All of your patterns, good or bad, are going to help you fulfill your purpose. So I'm giving full access. When you enroll into the Purposeful experience, you're going to gain full access into the Book of You, because once you're done with this 6-week journey and you're done with this whole purpose discovery and stuff like that, you can then go into Book of You and start to really be able to look into your chart and see, okay, all these patterns are adding up to maybe they're part of your lessons with your lunar eclipse, or maybe they're part of lessons you need to learn with your solar eclipse, or maybe they're just part of your purpose. But you're able to really gain a better understanding of yourself. It's kind of like you uncover piece by piece. So first you're getting to see, okay, this is why I came here, and this is really kind of how I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So you're looking at how you're going to do it through your birth chart. Oh, I'm going to do it by learning this lesson and learning that lesson and experiencing this pattern and doing things this way and evolving this way. So that's why you're going to gain access to that. So that's bonus number 1. You gain access to that course, obviously for free. Like you're not going to have to pay extra for it or anything. And then the second bonus is you're actually also going to gain entrance into the Book of Life course. And the reasoning for this is because, again, and I'm just like, it's so crazy because it's like, I feel like I created all of these things out of order, but I was just following whatever I was led to do. But it's just like all of these things just mesh so perfectly together. So, you have the Purposeful course, which is outlining your mission, right? And then you have your Book of You course here that's showing you all of the different ways that you can fulfill that mission. So all the different patterns, all the different titles you may take on, all the different perspectives you may have that will lead to you being able to fulfill that vision. And then you have the Book of Life course, which is where you're able to take whatever vision it is that God gives you. So, when I say vision, I'm talking like your big projects. You may have a dream to see something be built here on this earth. And you'll be surprised, but whatever you have this vision and dream of is most likely going to be right in line with whatever your purpose is. And so it's how do you take that big vision from just being a vision in your mind to actually being something physical, that you can see in front of you. And this is the exact system that I use to build out everything I've been building out. So all of the courses that you see being released, the websites that you see, the landing pages that you see, me posting on social media as much as you have seen me do, all of this is stemming from the Book of Life system. It was a system that, and it's still being tweaked to this day whenever you know, it's actually getting ready to go through another update. I'll just say that. As I start to really play around with things and see if new ways of doing things will work better than what I've been doing. But it's pretty much like a calendar and planning system that you always have, because you always have access to it. So you literally would never have to go buy a planner again unless you're somebody who's obsessed with planners for whatever reason and you feel like you need to. But the way the system is set up is it kind of keeps you away from feeling the need to do the busy work. So a lot of times what I find with planners is that we just end up writing a whole bunch of things that, yeah, we have to do, doctor's appointments, things like that. But we fill our planners up with all of this nonsense, no offense, because I was that person too. But we end up filling our planners up with all this nonsense, and it keeps us from actually taking the steps necessary to do what we know we have to do to be who we need to become in order to see the visions that we really have come to fulfillment. And then we sit there every year wondering why, well, this hasn't changed, or I'm not really that much closer to this big vision I have. And it's because you're literally delaying yourself. You're just like, you're waiting to be ready, and you're never going to be ready because you're always spending time doing all the busy work. So with the Book of Life, you get very clear on whatever that vision is, and then we break it down into steps. And then the whole point of the system is for you to use it just to focus on that vision, whatever those visions are, you know. And you can have multiple visions. It's not like you can only have one. You can have multiple visions, but the whole point is for you to focus on whatever those visions are and not get caught up in the whirlwind of all the busyness. You know, you're always going to have to go grocery shopping. You're always going to have to do, you know, little things. Like I'm always going to have to groom my dogs, different things like that. But that's not my big vision. Does that make sense? So I focus on my big vision. My big vision is the Dominion Collective, and then all of the parts of it. So now I'm working on the Amenti Institute, which is what holds all of the courses, and you know, having my own brand, Shenaye Suggs, being its own brand. These are all things that are part of a big vision. And so this is what I'm constantly focused on in my personal planning system. So that's what you guys gain access to as well, because with your purpose, with your mission comes a vision. And so you get clear on that vision. There's a whole journaling activity in that that walks you through how to get clear on your vision and then how to actually bring that vision to fulfillment. So that's what Book of Life is. And so you gain access to both Book of Life and Book of You when you enroll into the Purposeful experience. So those are two bonuses that you get as well. So hopefully that answered whoever had went into the poll and clicked that they felt like they needed more details. I know it can be kind of difficult when it comes to an offering like this, where it's not me saying, oh, I'm going to show you how to lose weight, or I'm going to show you how to make money. It's not something that you feel like you can tangibly, I guess, see, you know. So I understand that it is difficult to understand, like, what is it? What am I getting exactly? Like, you know, like, what is this? So to be very clear, and I hope this is clear for whoever it was that needed more details, you will be walking away knowing what your purpose is. You're not going to be questioning anymore. And when you do, you'll have a reminder of why you're here. And I'm telling you, when you go to read that information on yourself, once you put that covenant together for yourself, you're just going to feel like you're home. You're going to feel like this whole time I've been trying to be something that I don't even need to try to be. I'm literally like, I'm doing what I need to be doing. Like, it is the greatest reminder ever. And then so from there, we walk through all of those different things that I mentioned on Monday. So learning to submit to your purpose, submitting to God, trusting yourself, and fulfilling your purpose and making it your mission, making it your daily objective, different things like that. That's what we're going to cover over the 6 weeks. You'll actually see all of that laid out. I have updated the landing page for the Purposeful course. So if you were to click the link in the description box and go to the actual web page for it, you'll see I've definitely added a lot more details to it to try to get a bit more clear. I've even added the information on the seven live sessions and what the topics of those are and the dates of those. There are replays available so that if you're not able to make one of the sessions, you can always catch the replay. And then I've also laid out the bonuses and what you get with those bonuses as well. So all of the details are there. Again, I hoped I did answer that question. The last thing I wanted to just touch on is timing, because that was one of the other options. I don't think anybody else did the poll right now. I just want to double check that the answers haven't changed. But the other thing that was mentioned was timing. And, you know, it's I'm like, I want to, it's never going to be the right time for anything, is what I want to say. We're always, I noticed that, because I say we, because this is something that I've done many times to myself as well. We tend to delay the inevitable. It's like we're always trying to be ready for what we're already ready for. If you weren't ready for it now, it wouldn't be presented to you. And that's coming from personal experience. There have been many times that something has been placed before me and I'm like, I know it's time, but I don't act on it because for whatever reason, I don't feel like it's time. But one thing that I'm learning more and more as I practice submitting to God and God's will for me is that it's not about me. It's not about if I feel like it's time, because I don't fully understand God's plan. Like I can gain pieces, right? Like I have this covenant, this purpose covenant between God and me, but it doesn't lay out your timestamps. It doesn't say, like, sure, it'll say, oh, well, you'll move on this journey, you know, like this, and you'll move from being immature to mature, and this is what it might look like. But it's not going to say, well, at 29 years old, you're going to be doing this, and then at 35, you're going to do this, and at 45, this, and then 55. It's not going to lay that out for you. Because one thing you have to realize is you've got free will, for one, but there's also a plan. You know, there's also a plan that God has for your life should you choose it, right? And so God will present you with many opportunities to take the next step in the plan that he has for you, but it's up to you to choose. And a lot of times we hold ourselves back because we don't feel like we're ready. And that's not the case, because again, if you weren't ready, it wouldn't be presented to you. Like that is just it at the end of the day. So for anybody, because I've done a poll before with Book of You as well, and somebody also responded saying that they just felt like the timing was off. And so for anybody who ever, whether it's a course I'm offering or anything, any opportunity in life, you know, learning to use discernment is key, but also understanding that discernment comes not from your mind. It's not intellectual, it's intuitional. And for some people, that's a feeling that's in their gut. For some, it's a feeling that's in their heart, you know, but I can tell you right now, it's not here. Your mind is going to convince you in a million different ways that you're not ready for the next step, because your mind does want to protect you. Your mind, to me, when you talk about mind and intellectuality, that is masculine energy, and masculine energy is all about protection. And so masculine energy, you know, if it doesn't feel like something's safe, it's not going to do it. You know, I mean, and at the same time, masculine energy can kind of just go rush out there and do the damn thing. It just depends on what it is, right? So a lot of times we are self-sabotaging ourselves by saying it's not the right timing when in reality it is. I can't tell you how many times I've had to be presented with certain opportunities or offerings, like before I actually finally said yes. And then when I said yes, I was like, oh, that was it. Like I could have been accepted that opportunity, you know, like I've been ready for that, you know, but I was holding myself back, not thinking I was ready and saying, oh, I don't think it's the right time. But the ironic part is the entire time my gut, because that's where I feel my intuition, my gut would say, no, it is the right timing. But my mind would be like, no, it's not. You know, so it was kind of like this battle between mind and gut, right? Between intuition and intellect. And you've got to be willing to trust yourself. That's what it is at the end of the day, because you're only ever going to trust God as much as you trust yourself. So you're going to only be able to trust life, trust anything as much as you trust yourself. So if you don't feel like it's the right time, oftentimes it's because you're self-sabotaging. It's because you're too stuck in your intellect. If you're being presented with something and you're going based off of your mind on whether or not you should do it, try breathing deep a few times and going with whatever your gut answer is. And a lot of times your gut answer will provide relief because you'll know that's the correct answer for you, but it'll also create or trigger some fear because it's going to be scary to take a leap into something that your mind is not sure is going to pan out. Because you have to remember, your mind does not know the future. Your mind only knows what it's experienced thus far. So your mind is all based on memory. It's all based on the past. It has no idea what lies in front of it. So it's always going to make decisions based on past experience. Your gut, your intuition, is based on your spirit. It's based on that inner knowing of what God has planned for you. It can see into the future. It can't explain it, right? So that's why, like, your mind can never explain what it is your intuition feels. You'll just say, I have a feeling XYZ, but you can't explain what that means. That's because you're tuning into your spirit. You're tuning into what's coming, what's in the future. And your mind, because your mind can only see what's behind you, it has no idea what you're talking about. So again, your mind is going to try as many ways as it can to convince you that it's not the right time to do something. So check in with your gut. I'm not telling you, whoever said that they felt like it was the wrong timing for them, I'm not telling you to enroll in the course or anything. Because the last thing I want you to do is not be fully committed and then make the jump in and then, regret it or whatever. I want you to be like fully on board. But I do want to encourage anybody who feels like it's not the right time to do that practice, to breathe deep a few times and to really ask yourself, is this the right time? Get in tune with what part of your body feels the knowingness within you. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be your mind. Like, when you really ask yourself, where does my intuition lie? It'll probably be your gut or your heart. Somewhere in here. That's where we typically will feel it. And it's a feeling. So this is part of what embodiment is. Embodiment is actually feeling something in your body. It's not just being here in your mind. That's intellectual understanding. So do that practice, and do that practice for anything in your life, not just for figuring out if the course is for you. Do that for anything in your life in general. Anytime there's a decision that you feel yourself going back and forth on, get clear on where that knowingness lies within your body and what that feels like to you. It may feel like a sense of peace. It may feel like excitement. It may feel like happiness, whatever that is. Get in tune with that radio station and tune into that. Ask yourself the question of whatever decision it is you're trying to make, and then see what that answer is, and then go with that and trust it. And trust that you'll be taken care of no matter what. What's the worst that really could happen? That's something I've had to learn to ask myself too. So with that being said, unless there's any questions that you guys have for me, you can leave them in the chat box. I'll be happy to answer them here while I'm online. Take advantage while I'm here, because once I'm off, I'll be checking in to see if anybody comments, but once I'm off, I'm chilling for the night. I've done enough today. So if you have any other questions regarding purposeful, regarding purpose, I'm here. So take advantage right now. Like, don't be afraid to type something in the chat. Don't be like that. I'm not going to bite you, I promise. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I hope I said your name right. Thank you. But yeah, I answered I think everything that I possibly could think of. All the details will be, you'll see the link below that says you can enroll in Purposeful now. The link is there. It'll take you directly to the landing page, sales page, whatever you want to call it, for the Purposeful experience. All of the details are there, including everything that you get, all of the weekly sessions, their topics, their dates and times, and then the 2 bonuses as well. And even how everything works as far as once you've enrolled and how you'll receive all your login information and everything like that. All of that is provided. Again, you do get those 2 bonuses. So you do get access to both of those courses for free once you enroll into Purposeful. And thinking what else? Yeah, that's what you get. You get your purpose. You know, I don't know how much more clear I can make it. You walk away knowing what you are here to do. You have 4 days left. If I'm not 4 days. Yeah, 4 days. Today's the 24th. Enrollment closes on the 28th. So you have 4 days left to enroll. So definitely check in with yourself, make your gut decision. If it's not for you, maybe next time when I decide to open this back up again, I don't know when that will be. But if it's not for you, there's no offense taken. And if it is for you, I'm excited to have you. I know that whoever it's meant for, they will find their way into the space, because I do believe that God led me to create this for specific people. So whoever you are, if you're feeling that call, answer that call. You've got to get past the fear of it. Trust me. I had to do that the other day when I attended a masterclass. It took me, I think you had a week to sign up, and I think I signed up with 2 or 3 days left to sign up, because I too had to work through my own. So when that person said, "Oh, I don't know if it's the right time," like, trust me, I know, because I had to go through that same thing when I signed up for this masterclass. That really allowed me to open myself up in a way that I had shut myself off for years. So I know what that's like. So anyways, okay, it doesn't look like there's any other questions or any other comments. So thank you guys so much for tuning in live. Thank you to those of you who tune into the replay. If there's any other questions that you have once I've ended, you can leave them in the comments and I will try to respond to you as quick as I can. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you in the Purposeful experience. And with that, I will see you in my next video on Friday. I'll be talking. There's a video I've already filmed it. It's going up. I'm not going to cancel it, I promise. But it's all about my faith and what I believe in spiritually. That's something that I was asked a couple weeks ago, and I was finally able to get that filmed. So that's something that will be coming out on Friday. So I'm really excited about that. I hope you guys are too. So that's the next time I'll see you. It's Friday. All right. Bye.